Okay.
What's that?
Stay safe. So Tara's recording, and so we can go ahead and call to order the June 18th, 2020 Springboro Board of Education special meeting. Roll call.
Stuckey?
Here.
Anderson?
Here.
Ab?
Here.
Palage?
Here.
Goods?
Here.
Okay. Please stand for the pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag
To the flag
of
of the
America,
United States of America, and
to
to the republic
for which it
for which
stands,
it stands,
one
one
nation,
nation,
under God,
under God, indivisible,
liberty and
with
justice for
liberty
all.
and justice for all.
I'm anxious to get back in person so we can say that together. So, all right, so then we will move to item 1.2, adoption. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
So moved. I can second.
Discussion or questions?
Okay. Stuckey?
Yes.
Anderson?
Yes.
Ab?
Yes.
Palage?
Yes.
Goods?
Yes.
Okay, we can move to item 2.1, the approval of a superintendent contract, a 2-year contract for Larry Hook to serve as superintendent of Springboro schools. So let's do motion and second, and we can open it up for discussion. Motion?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, as we open it up for discussion, questions.
I do have something, just a statement I'd like to make. My responsibility as an elected school board member is to do what I believe is in the best interest of the students, the school staff, and the community in our district, whether I'm in an agreement with the other board members or not. The board's initial approach to identify was to identify, to interview, and to hire an interim superintendent. As a result of the change in the selection process, as well as concerns that I have developed from both solicited and unsolicited references as we were to make phone calls to references that were given to us, I cannot in good conscience vote for Mr. Hook. I hope that in the future I will be able to look back and say that those concerns were unfounded. So I look forward to a full search in 2 years, which has been agreed upon by the board. If a majority of the board votes to accept Mr. Hook's, to accept this, then I will do everything possible to support his leadership and to make this successful for him, for our district, and for our community. Thank you.
Any other comments? Well, I would just say, I mean, and in sort of addressing the point on 2 years, you know, we did sort of enter this process with the goal of looking to conduct a search, a full search in a year, I think. But as we sort of got into the process and heard from several different individuals, including our prior interim superintendent, as well as some of the candidates for this position, and as we really stopped to reflect on all of the things that we have going on as a district over the next 1 to 2 school years, I think, you know, that the consensus of the board was that a 2-year contract would make sense, at which time we can sort of reevaluate where we go at that point in time. But, you know, with the potential, it will be in negotiations. Obviously, we have the return to school that's happening this fall, negotiations coming up in the spring with both unions, the potential for a conversation with our community about funding for the schools happening potentially in the spring. And with all of that and some other, you know, things that we're dealing with as the district, to be doing a full superintendent search on top of that, you know, it just didn't seem like the right timing. And so, you know, I think that 2 years gives us an opportunity to try and work through some of those things and then kind of reevaluate where we're at that point. So, you know, I'm confident that, you know, through this process, we've had a lot of conversations with a lot of different individuals. And, I'm very comfortable that Mr. Hook, with his familiarity with our district, having previously served as an assistant superintendent here, he lives in the community, has been at Carlisle for the last 10 years. I think that combination of experience and familiarity with our district really set him up perfectly to help us navigate the next 2 years. And again, I'm confident from the conversations that I've had from a number of individuals, that he is the right person to lead us at this time. Any other comments or questions?
I'd just echo what Mr. Bellagio said. I think Mr. Hook, it was the clear choice in terms of candidates. I do want to thank all the candidates that applied, certainly the ones that spent time interviewing with us. But, as I went through this process, I also came to the conclusion that 2 years is preferable to 1 year in terms of contracts. And a lot of that decision was based on, feedback that we got from our own administrators. So in support of our administrators, I also think that a 2-year contract is the right approach. I think Mr. Hook brings a lot to the position, and I'm hopeful that the next 2 years are going to help move Springboro forward. Because we've had a couple issues over the past couple of years, and I think we're ready to take a big step forward. So I'm looking forward to working with him, and I think the community at large will be excited for his arrival as well. Thanks.
Any other comments or questions? Okay.
Stuckey,
Yes.
Anderson,
Yes.
Bab,
No.
Bellagio,
Yes.
Goods.
Yes.
Okay, the motion passes. Item 3.1, is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
I can second.
Discussion or questions?
Okay, Stuckey.
Congratulations to Mr. Hook.
Yeah. Stuckey,
Yes.
Anderson,
Yes.
Bab,
Yes.
Bellagio,
Yes.
Goods.
Yes.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Take care.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody. Take care.
Okay.